So to introduce this next unit, we're going to look at explosions. The question I want you guys to think about while watching 3 specific videos is what happens after an explosion. Well, what is an explosion? An explosion is a disturbance of the ground, of the air, of everything around the thing exploding. So what happens when you disturb the air, disturb the ground, or let's say water? So the first explosion we're going to look at is an underground nuclear explosion. The second one will be a slow motion video of a car exploding. And the third one will be a demolition of a coal-fired power plant. So let's look at this underground nuclear explosion for a minute. So here we can see the explosion was here. It looks like something's coming toward the camera through the ground. And again, something's coming through the camera through the water. We'll look at it one last time. What is it that's moving towards the camera in both perspectives? Here's our second explosion, a slow motion video of a car. Here we can see individual pieces of the car and smoke like flying away at high speeds, but look what's moving away from the car at a faster speed. Looks like some kind of disturbance. The air looks kind of blurry and it's moving out in kind of a spherical shape around the car. Well, what is it that's moving through the air? The third video we're going to look at is what happened after there was some explosives used to demolish a coal-fired power plant in Tennessee. You can see that when the cooling towers come down, they kick up a lot of dirt and dust, but check this one out right here. Right after it hits the ground, you can see something moves through the air really fast away from it. Again, the question is, what is that? So, what is moving through the ground or air or water in the case of the underground nuclear explosion, which is moving away from the location of the initial disturbance, in this case, an explosion? Well, it turns out that in an explosion there are pieces of matter, things that fly away from the explosion at an incredibly high velocity, but we're not talking about the matter or the particles that are moving away from the explosion. We're talking about the disturbance that's moving away. And what is this disturbance? Well, we call all of those moving disturbances, we call those physical waves. Well, what is a wave? Well, it's what we just saw. It's kind of like waves that move through the surface of water if you drop something in it. Waves, physical waves, are disturbances that move through a solid, liquid, or gas when the material or medium is disturbed. Medium is the word that we used for the material that the waves or the disturbances move through. With the underground explosion, that disturbance moved through the ground and it moved through the water as well as the air above it. Waves travel outward from the initial disturbance in all available directions of the material. When you drop something in, let's say, on the surface of the water, the waves will move out in a two-dimensional shape like this because that's kind of the direction of the available water. In the case of the explosions, there's air surrounding the explosion in the case of the exploding car, and so the disturbance moves out in all available directions in the air. And what is it that's moving? What is this disturbance? Well, it's not matter or material that's moving through matter. It's the energy that's moving through the matter. If you think about it, up until this point, we spent a lot of time talking about matter, things with mass that can move or accelerate, speed up or slow down. But this is something altogether different. This is energy that moves through material. So how does moving energy or waves behave? We're going to investigate that in our unit.